Earp, he was a last-minute choice as referee for a boxing match, 2nd December, 1896, which the promoters billed as the heavyweight championship of the world, when Bob Fitzsimmons was set to fight Tom Sharkey at Mechanics Pavilion in San Fran. Earp, he had refereed 30 or so matches in his early days, though none under the Marquis of Queensberry rules, but under the older and more liberal London Price ring.
Probably got away with a lot more in that one.
Right, some thin-ass gloves.
Right, my pardon, maybe not even none.
Right, the fight may have been the most anticipated fight on American soil that very year. Fitzsimmons favored to win, and the public and even civic officials placed bets on the outcome.
Fitzsimmons did indeed dominate Sharkey throughout the fight, and he hit Sharkey with his famed solar plexus punch in the 8th round, an uppercut under the heart that could render a man temporarily helpless.
Wow.
Then at Fitzsimmons' next punch, Sharkey dropped, clutched his groin, rolled on the canvas, screaming foul.
Wow.
Earp stopped the bout, ruling that Fitzsimmons had hit Sharkey below the belt, but virtually no one witnessed the punch.
Or was willing to say.
Earp awarded the fight to Sharkey, whom attendants carried out as limp as a rag.
Oh, shit.
The 15,000 fans in attendance greeted his decision with loud boos and catcalls. You piece of fucking shit. You know how much money you just lost?
Damn. It was widely believed that no foul had occurred and that Earp had bet on Sharkey. Several doctors verified afterward that Sharkey had been hit hard below the belt, but the public had bet heavily on Fitzsimmons, and they were livid at the outcome. Fitzsimmons went to court to overturn Earp's decision. Newspaper accounts, testimony over the next 2 weeks, revealed a conspiracy among the boxing promoters to fix the fight's outcome.
Did it?
Newspapers across the United States republished the stories from San Fran papers and looked for local angles.
December 14th, 1896, San Francisco Call quoted a story from the New York Journal by Alfred H. Lewis, who accused the Earp brothers of being stage robbers. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And Earp was parodied in editorial caricatures by newspapers across the country. Stories about the fight and Earp's contested decision were distributed nationwide to a public that knew little of Wyatt Earp prior to that time. So now, instead of being the famous outlaw gunslinger guy, he's now known for being a piece of shit referee.
Oh, wow. 17th of December, Judge Sanderson finally ruled that the prize fighting was illegal in San Francisco, and the courts would not determine who was the winner. Sharkey retained the purse, but the decision provided no vindication for Earp. Until the fight, Earp had been a minor figure, known regionally in California and Arizona. Afterward, he was known coast to coast. Boxing.
A minor figure. Bullshit.
That boxing match left a smear on his public character, which followed him until the day he died, and even afterwards, because we're talking about it now. 8 years later, Dr. B. Brooks Lee was accused of treating Sharkey to make it appear that he had been fouled by Fitzsimmons. Damn, they were really pissed off. And Lee admitted that this was true. I fixed Sharkey up to look as if he had been fouled, he confessed. I got $1,000 for my part in the affair.
Hey, fuck it.
Earp, he tried to persuade his good friend, well-known cowboy movie star William Hart.
Okay, we don't need his fucking credentials every single time.
He's like, can you please set the...
I'm well-known cowboy movie star William Hart.
He's like, can you please help set the record straight about my life and get a movie made? If the story were exploited on the screen by you, he wrote Hart, it would do so much towards setting me right before the public, which has always been fed lies about me. Hart encouraged Earp to first find an author to pen his story. So you write that story, I will say it.
Well, in 1925, Earp began to collaborate on a biography with his friend and former mining engineer John Flood to get his story told in a way that he approved.
Right.
So you're not doing it justice. Flood volunteered his time and attempted to write an authorized biography of Earp's life based on Earp's recollection. And the two men sat together every Sunday in the kitchen of Earp's modest rented bungalow. While Wyatt sipped a drink and smoked a cigar, they tried to tell Earp's story. But Josephine was always present. She often interrupted and insisted, "You can't write that. It needs to be clean." She also demanded that they add more pep to the manuscript, which in her mind meant including the word crack in all capitals.
Damn.
In the chapter about the shootout, the manuscript includes 109 uses of crack.
Oh, wow.
She thought Earp needed to be shown as a hero, and the manuscript includes a chapter titled Conflagration, in which Earp saves two women, one a cripple, from a tombstone fire.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it just had to sweeten it up with a little sprinkle, a little cripple on top.
All right. Flood's writing was stilted, corny, and one-dimensional. The manuscript, completed sometime early in 1926, never found a publisher. February 1927, editor Ann Johnson of Bob's Merrill
Boobs Merrill.
wrote back and was highly critical of the stilted, florid, and diffuse writing. She wrote, "Now one forgets what it's all about in the clutter of unimportant details that impedes its pace and the pompous manner of its telling." She pissed. Spolidora,
Grace.
as a teenager, had visited the Earp's many times near her family home in Needles, California. She sometimes sent to San Diego with them.
Oh, wow.
Well, in an interview with the San Bernardino Historical Society in 1990, she attributed to the highly exaggerated stories about Wyatt Earp to Josephine. Josephine would always interfere when Wyatt would talk with Stuart Lake. She always interfered. She wanted him to look like a church-going saint and blow things up. Wyatt didn't want that at all.
He's probably just getting her to shut up, like whatever.
Right.
Well, Hart tried to help. February 1926, he wrote the Saturday Evening Post, encouraged him to publish Flood's biography so that the rising generation may know the real from the unreal.
All right.
But Flood was a horrendous writer and publisher after publisher rejected the manuscript.
No.
Several copies were made and sold in 1981. An original carbon copy of the typed manuscript, which was found among Josephine's papers, was given by Glenn Boyer to the Ford County Historical Society.
Fantastic. Good for him, right? It's like The Room, right? The worst movie ever made.
Right, but then turns into a cult.